guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a surprise guest. I've got Jennifer from Digital Nomad Girls.
So hi, my name is Jenny. I run Digital Nomad Girls with an S. It started out just 3 years ago as a Facebook group, and now we have over 17,000 girls in there. It's a lovely community. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's very helpful and engaged and very supportive group. And just this year we added a exclusive membership, which is basically a place where we can kind of give a little bit more help and a little bit more support and get to know each other on a more personal level. So we do like virtual co-working and live Q&As and things like that. So yeah, that's the latest thing. And we also run retreats.
It is my favorite Facebook group out there because it's so nice, and not all online communities are like that. So for me, it's been really awesome. I wanted to speak to Jennifer about like the difficult nomad questions, which you probably get asked all the time.
Yeah.
From people being like, how do I get started? You know, what is a nomad? All that kind of stuff. I thought it'd be cool because you're an expert. So, okay, the first thing I want to know is, how does someone be a nomad? What is a nomad? Who counts? Like, what if you have a house? What if you live in one country? Who's a nomad? Who counts?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I get it all the time, and I actually even wrote a blog post about it because it's like, I don't want people to feel like they're not doing it right. So
exactly.
I think there's like a big misconception out there that you have to be somebody with like a backpack, carry on only, and you're jumping from country to country every week or every month.
Yeah.
And it's not like that at all. Like, people travel in all sorts of different ways. You can travel slowly and have a home base. You can even have a house and just travel a few times a year. Or you can travel more often. You know, you don't have to have a home base. Maybe you just have a suitcase and that's all your belongings. There is actually no right or wrong way. People do it in all sorts of different ways. Some people travel with their partners, some people with their families and their kids even. Some people live in vans, some people have tiny houses. There's just really no right or wrong way, as long as you work online in some capacity or you get money from some online sources.
Yeah.
And you like traveling, you know? And you're location independent. So it means if you're location independent, you can be a digital nomad because you can take your
because
job around.
Some people now like have a base in America or the UK where maybe they spend every other month at home, or they spend the summer at home and then the winter away. And some people have jobs, or some people are self-employed, or some people are freelance. And I think all of that counts. If you want to be in the club, you can be in the club.
Yeah, totally. I didn't even mention that. Like, you don't even have to be a freelancer or run your own business. You can have a job that is just fully remote, and you can do it from your couch or from a couch in Hong Kong. Yeah. Anywhere, really.
I call it work from home, but like home is just wherever your suitcase is in the world. So I always try and explain to people, if they don't know what nomad is, I just say like, oh, I work from home, and they get that. And then I'm like, but home is Thailand. And they're like,
I saw this quote recently, and it's like, home is where the Wi-Fi connects automatically.
That's so cute. I love it. Okay, well, that one's sorted. Done. The next question I want to know is, how do people get started with a job? Like, if they don't know how to make money, they don't feel like they have any skills. Obviously, I have videos that go into that with job ideas, but like, how did you get started, and how do people work out how to make money online? It seems really daunting.
Yeah, and it is really daunting. I was very daunted in the beginning, so I can totally relate to that. So my background, just very briefly, I'm not a web developer or anything like that. I'm actually a scientist. So I used to be a chemist working in the lab, and I decided to leave that all behind and went traveling. And then I found out about digital nomads. I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. Yeah. Because then I can keep traveling. And I had absolutely no idea how to get started, because I thought I literally had zero skills to take online, like zero. I'm like, okay, I can do experiments, I can do analytics. I don't know what to do online. But it's not true. I think everybody nowadays has some skills that will help you get started working online. So I would start with just making a big list of all the things you can actually do. And that includes like stuff that you've done at university maybe, or all the things you've ever done for a job. Like, everybody uses a computer nowadays. So you already can do stuff with a computer. Yeah. And that means you can help other people online as well, you know. So for me, I had no idea how to get started, so I kind of saw it as an experiment, because that's what I was good at. And I was like, I'm gonna set myself a challenge, I'm gonna try all of these. And that's kind of what I did. So I started writing about this on my blog, and I started telling people like, oh, I'm gonna try this, I want to try any job. And what happens is people go like, oh yeah, you should try this and this, maybe my friend blah and blah can help you. So I started writing SEO articles. The first one I did was $7 for 500 words.
Wow.
So not what you want.
But that's how you start,
That's
right?
how you start. And to be honest, when the first $7 arrived on my bank account, I was like so incredibly happy. So I wouldn't be too discouraged starting from somewhere, anywhere. And then just add other stuff. So I was helping people with their social media management, not because I was like a social media expert and I knew everything, but because I knew much more than them. So I could help them. And I did translations. If you're bilingual, that's a really great way to get started. And because I was learning about WordPress and blogging and all of that, suddenly people were like, hey, can you help me with my website? I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try it. So all of these different things kind of came together.
I think a lot of it is about saying yes to stuff when it still scares you a bit. Like you were saying, you built your blog and then other people were like, can you help me build mine? And you were like, yeah, I mean, it might take me a while and it will be cheap because I'm going to learn as I do it. But if someone's paying you to learn, that's perfect. And it's cheap for them. Like they get something they can afford because you're learning and you get to learn while you're being paid. Like that's perfect.
It's perfect. And I would always say, just don't be scared. Try it out. You know, don't lie to people ever. Say, you know what, I'm a beginner. I know how to do some of this stuff. I don't know how to do the rest, but I'm sure I can figure it out. And then you just put the work in, you know, and you learn. I was reading so many blog posts about WordPress, watching so many YouTube videos. I mean, Udemy, all of the stuff. There are so many ways that you can learn out there, and there are so many different tech platforms. If you're good at one of them, you can already help somebody and charge money for it. So just don't be too scared. Start somewhere and just experiment a lot, I would say.
And I think charge money as soon as possible. Just a small amount, like just $7 for 500 words. But try not to give yourself away for free too much, because I feel like you really cross a mental line when you start charging. You're then like, this is a job and I get it, and you then like attract more things that you can make money from, and you're just in a different headspace to when you're like insecure because you're like, oh no, I've only done it for friends and family, like it's not my business.
And also I think people take you more seriously if you do. If I had done everything for free in the beginning, they would have been like, oh yeah, okay, maybe she's not so good at it anyway. So have a little bit of confidence, charge a little bit to get started, and just see how it goes.
So that kind of leads on to my next question, which is, you want to charge, but how do you find clients? Like, who's going to pay you to do stuff?
Yeah, that's always the big worry. That's the big worry that everybody has, and I can totally get it, because where do you find those people who actually give you money to do stuff? There are so many different platforms. There are so many different ways that you can find clients. And, you know, there's lots of resources out there about that. But for me personally, I think the step that most people completely skip, it's really funny, I see that all the time, is just tell people what you're doing. You know? You want to be a writer, you're writing on your blog already. You're helping somebody else write. Tell people you're a writer. Don't go, oh, I would really like to be a writer maybe sometime. No, you are a writer already. Tell people about it. And you never know. There will be a family friend who goes, oh, actually, my son's startup needs a writer. Would you mind helping them? It just happens all the time. And I don't mean spam your Facebook feed. I mean actually tell everybody. Like if you meet people, your old friends, your old colleagues, just let them know, update them, and not in a like, hey, hire me, spammy kind of way, but just in a, hey, I'm super excited, I'm trying this new thing. Let me know if I can help you kind of way. And so many things start happening. This is seriously, I always feel bad for saying this because people are like, I need the platforms, where do I find the clients? But this is seriously how I got, I think, 80% of my work in the beginning, just by telling people.
Just by saying like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm Louise, I'm a video editor. And even if you're not making any money from it and your full-time income is from like something totally else, but you want to get clients in video editing, just tell people you're an editor and they just like log it away, and you'd be amazed how far it goes. Like clients come from the weirdest places, and I think for like day one, you know, you should probably make an Upwork profile, and like that's an extra alternative route. But for me, like the bigger clients, the long-term clients, back when I was doing client work, the best thing to do was just to like put it out there, and whether you think it's the universe or whether you think it's your hard work paying off, for me it's the best way. It's the way that works.
Definitely. And I mean Upwork and all of those platforms are great to start as well, and you know, job boards and all of this, but that's just one part of the puzzle. I always think first put it on your Facebook, put it on your LinkedIn, write down you're a writer, this is your blog starting now.
And you also need to be the right kind of person, because it's going to be personal recommendations. So some people say to me like, oh, do you know anyone hiring for this? And like maybe I do, but I don't want to put my name on their recommendation. So you need to be someone who people are going to be like, this person is reliable, they're likable, you know, they're going to be a good price. So you need all of that in the background as well. And if you're not getting clients through recommendations, maybe you need to look back at why. Like maybe you're not very punctual, or you don't reply to emails or something like that. But I think if you're just like good at what you do and you've got that relationship with people that they know you're reliable, then if you just put it out there, the clients will come.
Yeah, and then one leads to the next, and they have a client, and they have a client, and soon you have too much work.
Yeah, and then you have to put your price up.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next one, I think I already know what you're going to say for this, but how do you meet people when you're traveling?
Yeah, that's actually such a good question, and you wouldn't think it, but that's one of the most common questions I get as well.
Me too.
Because one of the biggest problems that people have, or one of the biggest fears they have when they want to be a digital nomad, is loneliness. And they just have that feeling that they'll be traveling with their backpack and their laptop and they'll be alone all the time. And it's just absolutely not true, so you don't have to worry about that. There are lots of ways of meeting people on the road. So first thing is always, I would go Facebook. Facebook groups for digital nomads. There are so many big Facebook groups, like there's Digital Nomad Girls, but there are also mixed groups, and then specifically location-based groups. So you have Digital Nomads Spain, Digital Nomads Italy, Digital Nomads Thailand, but you also have Digital Nomads Rome, Digital Nomads Sofia. Really look for those specific groups, because that's where the people are who are locals, who want to be digital nomads, but also people who are based there. Meetup groups. Also, Meetup is a different platform. They have lots and lots of events, and don't be shy. Just go in there and say, hi, I'm new, I'm coming to the city. Does anybody want to meet up for a beer or a drink? And 99% of the time, there will be somebody who is super keen to meet up, because everybody feels the same. If you are worried you're going to be lonely, everybody else is also worried they're going to be lonely. So people want to make friends. That's the really nice thing about the digital nomad world. Like, it's not like, oh, do you want to go for a pizza? No, I have better things to do. It's like, everybody wants to hang out. So,
and no one's cooking. Everyone's eating out. So you have like new dinner dates every day.
That is so true, especially like in Chiang Mai. So for girls, for example, there's a group called Girl Gone International, and they have 150 cities all around the world.
Oh, cool.
Which is really nice, because they're more expat girls, so there's always somebody there. The problem with nomads is that they move all the time.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with people.
And once you start, you'll kind of get to know people, and you bump into them again, and also they'll be like, oh, my friend is going to be in the city that you're going next week, why don't I put you in touch with them? So this is really how it happens a lot. And then co-working spaces, they often have events as well that you can join for free.
And you also organize retreats?
Yes, so the conferences, that's actually a really good point. I do organize retreats, so those are much longer events, so 7 to 10 days, and we get to know each other really in person.
You're like family by the end.
Yes, we really are. Like, people are so close, and people start working together and that kind of thing. But also really nomad conferences like 7 and 7 is happening in Colombia.
And I guess that kind of leads on to my last question, which is about the best place to start as a nomad, like in the world.
In the whole world. I love that question. It's like also one of the most common ones, isn't it? It's like, where should I go? Where should I start?
Where should I go?
Suddenly the world is my oyster. Well, to be honest, the world is your oyster, so you could, in theory, go wherever you wanted. I always think to start with, it's to go somewhere where you either know people already that you might have already met online. So there's no need to wait until you're already a nomad to start connecting with people. And then maybe go to a place that isn't very expensive. And where you know that there's other nomads. So the number one place in the world is obviously Chiang Mai in Thailand. So Chiang Mai is super, super popular. It's a lovely place in the north of Thailand. It's a giant nomad scene. It's very affordable. The food is absolutely incredible. But there are also new places coming up. Like, if you want to stay in Europe, there's Las Palmas in the Canary Islands. The Canary Islands have the best weather in Europe. So definitely a good place to go over winter as well. And there's a big nomad scene there, which is because there's just a lot of co-working and co-living spaces and events happening. I think you can be happy as a nomad anywhere you go if you're really interested in this country. But for me personally, I do like going where other people are, because I'm very sociable and extroverted, and I need to have people around.
Do you use Nomad List?
I do for research.
Okay.
Yeah, for my initial research, I will have a look to see what's coming up.
Because that was how we ended up in Chiang Mai. It's a website where they rank cities on kind of how good they are for nomads, like how safe they are, how cheap they are, how good the Wi-Fi is. And it's not always exactly accurate. Like, you know, it's not entirely scientific, and sometimes the cost estimate isn't always quite right, because everyone spends different amounts. Like, you can't really estimate the cost. but it does at least give you a list of places that is in fashion with nomads, and then you can kind of do your own research. So that's why we went to Chiang Mai, because at the time it was number 1 on Nomad list, and we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And it was definitely the right choice because there's just a ridiculous amount of nomads there. Yeah. But you can also now go on there and be like, oh, Ljubljana or Medellin, or like it just kind of gives you, Berlin. It gives you a list of like where the nomads are. And generally nomads are somewhere that's sunny, depending on the time of year, somewhere that's cheap, and somewhere that's reasonably developed with like good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think Southeast Asia is a really good space to start.
Yeah, because it's so cheap and it's really safe and really friendly, beautiful weather, beautiful food. Vietnam or Thailand or the Philippines or like all of those are pretty popular. Bali, of course. Okay, well, you did so well with all those really tough, like these are all the hardest questions that I get asked, and it sounds like you get asked the same stuff. So
all the time, yeah.
Hopefully we've helped a lot of people with this. But I will include links to Digital Nomad Girls down below so you guys can join the Facebook group. And if you want to join the inner circle, it's not open right now because they onboard people gradually. So you will have to wait, sign up for the newsletter so that you can get notified when it's next open. But thank you so much for watching. Thanks for coming on, sharing your wisdom. We're going to go explore Sofia now. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.